Welcome back to Ride Empire, the home of legendary machines, raw power, and timeless American muscle cars. Today, we're diving deep into the world of one of the most iconic and unforgettable muscle cars of all time, the 1967 Pontiac GTO. Known as the GOAT among enthusiasts, this beast wasn't just a car, it was a revolution on wheels, a machine that helped define the entire muscle car era. Let's step into history, design, performance, and the lasting legacy of the 1967 Pontiac GTO. When you talk about the golden age of muscle cars, one name echoes louder than most: Pontiac GTO. The year 1967 marked a special chapter for this machine. It wasn't just about raw horsepower, it was about style, presence, and dominance. The 1967 GTO became a cultural symbol, a car that made young drivers dream, collectors obsessed, and competitors worried. Let's begin with the design. The 1967 GTO stood out with its sharp, aggressive body lines, wide stance, and a muscular look that demanded respect. The split front grille with stacked headlights gave it a distinctive face, instantly recognizable even from a distance. In red, this car looked absolutely stunning, bold, flashy, and dripping with confidence. The chrome bumpers, subtle badging, and elegant curves blended perfectly with its raw aggression. It wasn't just a muscle car, it was a statement on the road. From the back view, the wide tail panel with horizontal tail lights and dual exhaust tips made it clear that this was a performance machine. The GTO wasn't shy, it screamed power from every angle. The side profile highlighted its long hood, short deck design, the classic muscle car formula. Sitting on stylish 5-spoke wheels, the GTO looked ready to launch at any moment. Even standing still, it gave the impression of motion and dominance. Step inside, and the dashboard view transported drivers to a true muscle car cockpit. Vintage yet stylish, with analog gauges, a wood grain dash, and chrome accents, the interior screamed performance and class. The 3-spoke steering wheel, the manual shifter, and the comfortable bucket seats created an environment where the driver felt like a king. Unlike some competitors, Pontiac made sure the GTO had both muscle and a touch of luxury. Now let's talk about what really made the GTO legendary: performance. Under the hood, the 1967 Pontiac GTO came with a 400 cubic inch V8 engine. That's 6.6 liters of raw American power. Depending on the configuration, it produced anywhere from 335 horsepower to 360 horsepower, with torque numbers that could easily smoke the rear tires. This car was built for straight-line speed and delivered exactly that. The GTO offered multiple transmission options, from a smooth 3-speed automatic to a 4-speed manual for true driving enthusiasts. The engine roar alone was enough to send chills down your spine. The deep, throaty exhaust note of a GTO was like music, muscle car symphony at its best. 0 to 60 came in under 6 seconds, making it one of the fastest cars of its era. But Pontiac didn't just build a car, they built a movement. The GTO is often credited as the car that truly launched the muscle car era. Sure, there were performance cars before it, but the GTO took performance and made it accessible to the average driver. Affordable, powerful, stylish, it checked every box. It was the car young drivers saved for, the car street racers respected, and the car every competitor tried to beat. By 1967, the GTO had already established itself as the king of the streets. It wasn't just about numbers, it was about attitude. Driving a GTO wasn't like driving any other car. It was about confidence, dominance, and pride. It was about turning heads at every stoplight, and letting that V8 rumble do all the talking. Even today, the 1967 Pontiac GTO holds a special place in the hearts of enthusiasts. Collectors consider it one of the most valuable and desirable muscle cars ever made. A fully restored GTO in red can easily fetch 6-figure prices at auctions. And for good reason. It's not just a car, it's history, it's nostalgia, and it's pure American spirit captured on 4 wheels. On Ride Empire, we don't just showcase cars, we celebrate legends. And the 1967 Pontiac GTO is more than a legend. It's a symbol of freedom, power, and passion. Whether you see it parked in a showroom, tearing down a drag strip, or cruising on an open road, the GTO makes one thing clear: this is the car that changed everything. Let's talk about its legacy. The GTO inspired generations of muscle cars that followed. Dodge, Chevrolet, Ford, they all felt the heat when Pontiac released the GTO. It forced competitors to step up their game, leading to an all-out horsepower war that defined the late 60s and early 70s. Without the GTO, muscle car history might look very different today. Fans lovingly call it the GOAT, greatest of all time. And honestly, it deserves the title. Because even after decades, when you see a red 1967 Pontiac GTO, you don't just see a car, you see a legend that refuses to fade. So if you ever get the chance to witness this beauty in real life, take a moment to appreciate the craftsmanship, the power, and the legacy. Because cars like the GTO aren't just built anymore, they're born once in a lifetime. This was the story of the 1967 Pontiac GTO, a car that redefined what muscle meant and cemented itself as one of the greatest American cars ever built. You've been watching Ride Empire, your destination for the most iconic rides, past and present. If you enjoyed this deep dive into muscle car history, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video with fellow car enthusiasts. Because here at Ride Empire, the legends never die, they just keep roaring.